Welcome everybody to the 20th episode of the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 Bare Bones Configuration live stream, where we're going out and we're setting up Dynamics 365 from the ground up so that you can actually see how everything fits together within all the modules, and also give you an idea of Dynamics and all of the ins and outs of the application. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to continue through on the setup. When we left on the last episode, then we were working through the cash and bank management, and we were setting up some bank accounts. And I had a small technical issue with it, which we've fixed. But also, this opens up sort of like a learning opportunity that I can show some other things along the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue working through our setup, and what we're going to do. Let me move over to the demo system. What we're going to do is we're going to continue working through the bare bones configurations guide. So this is what we're on the second module of the cash and bank management series. We've already gone through and set up the general ledger. We've set up a number of we've set up the accounts, we've set up all of those things, and now we're just creating our bank accounts so that then when we move on to accounts payable and accounts receivable, then we can go out and perform some of the tasks. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the section where I was before, and we'll sort of review some of that, but then also explain why we had the problem in the episode 19. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the bank accounts, and also so we're in the bank accounts. What we were doing is we went into the bank accounts, and we were going into the check formatting, and we were here, and then there was we'd gone out and we'd configured the paper length and the height, and we'd set the bank account and the bank name and all of these things that are in here. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to assign a company logo. So what we did is we uploaded a logo for the Waterdeep Trading Company. You can do that for your organization that you choose to bring up in the system. And all we were doing was we just went out and we changed this, and we uploaded the file. So I did a browse, and I found the file and imported it. So that's all you have to do. Now, just to give you a little bit of background, if you're doing this yourself, and if you've got your own virtual machine that you're running, then you may come across this problem where you can't upload files into the application. So this won't happen on a sandbox. This only happens on a virtual machine. So if we move over to the server, so this is the one box. This is the environment that we're running everything from. There's a service that is called the Azure Storage Emulator. Because you're running locally, then you can't. You're not attached to Azure, so there's no place for those files to go to. So what you want to do if you're doing this yourself, if you're not using our lab environments, then what you need to do is you need to go to the storage emulator, and you need to just find this, click on it, start it. And also, if you reboot the machine, you've got to do this as well. But that will start up an Azure emulator for the file storage, and you'll actually be able to go out and do that. So that's just a little pointer for those of you that are going out and doing this yourself in the system. So we can upload any image that we've got here into the check printing and manage this configuration. So also if we back out, then let's back out of here. Then this is let me go back into the Waterdeep Trading. Oops, back into here. So what this allows us to do is this allows us to have our our logo show up on the bank account. So also, let's see. So that that really finishes the configuration of the checks in the system. And I think we've got payment information, we've got additional information, contact information, financial dimensions, and so forth. So we've got all of these set up here in the configuration. Now, if we wanted to go out and modify some of this information, then we can actually go out and change the details. Now, we may look around because there's we should be able to also go out and maintain the signature that's on the bank account. Let's see, but for some reason that's not showing up, so we'll just ignore that for now. So let's return back and let's continue through. Although what we're going to so let's go out and move on to linking these bank accounts to our legal entities. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take these legal entities, or take our legal entity, and we're going to open that up, and then we're going to say what bank accounts or what the main bank account is for our legal entity. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to find our legal entity. And I went out and I went through the menu search. Let me just get a coffee. To find the legal entities. You can actually go also through the organization administration and find the legal entities here as well. So there's two ways that we can get to the same form. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work with the Waterdeep Trading Company, our main account, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pull up the bank account information. So we're going to then edit this, and we're going to say the bank account routing number is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 8 1, which is for the Waterdeep Community Bank. And then also what we are going to do is we're going to choose the main bank account that we've got. So we're going to use the operating account here as our main account. So this is really all we need to do here. We are going out and selecting this main account and applying it to our legal entity. So we've got that. Now I'm looking through the documentation, and yeah, we can go out and we can continue to change any of this. Let's have a look. We don't really need to change any of the contact information, any of the bank account information, or any other details that we've got here in the system. So we can just continue on from here. Now, what we're going to talk about, what we're going to finish with, and we'll see how far we get through this. But we're going to work through the bank account reconciliation. Now, I'm going to, before I do that, I'm going to go back to my bank accounts, and I'm going to create a couple other accounts. And this account is going to be my cash account in Faerûnian standard dollars. And the main account that I'm going to have that's associated with this is going to be this account here. And that's going to be in Faerûnian standard dollars. So this is a cash account. So we don't have a bank group associated with it, although we could if I want to go out and just be if I want to be particular about this, then I could say that I want to have my cash account groups, and then we'll associate this account with the cash account. Now, the account name is going to be in Faerûnian standard dollars, and then we'll create one more, and we've got a cash Faerûnian gold pieces, and the main account for that is going to be our 1000 account. Main account, let me do that again, 1000. So this is going to be cash. Let me choose the bank group. It's going to be cash. It's going to be a cash account, Faerûnian gold pieces. And we can save that. So this, even though we don't have a bank account for this, by creating a bank account, what that allows us to do is it allows us to go out and reconcile the accounts. We're going to want to reconcile our cash accounts and make sure that our petty cash and our gold accounts are correct in the system. So that what you didn't see is I went through and I created these main accounts. So what we've got is we've got our cash account here, and then in Faerûnian standard dollars, and let's just make sure that these are match up with what I've got. So this is, I like to have the hyphens the same, and we'll just stick with that for now. So here's our two cash accounts that we're working through. So now what we want to do as we move through, what we want to do is we want to go out and we want to create we want to perform a bank reconciliation. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the bank accounts and we're going to find the bank account, and then we're going to open up the bank statement page. So let's go through that. It's been a while since I've done this, so we'll see how this goes. So we want to go to, we're actually in our bank accounts right now. And what we want to do is we want to choose our reconcile option. And then what we're going to do is we're going to perform the account reconciliation. So this is going to require a little bit of thinking. So let's back out of here and let's go into our operating account. Because if we look at our operating account and look at the details associated with this, then and look at our transactions. So what I've done is I've gone into the general ledger. We don't have any transactions, as opposed to if I go out and look at my, let's look at our cash account and look at the transactions. Then we've actually got some cash accounts here. And if I do some quick math, that's $3,100 in cash that's been applied to that. So let me just note that down. So that's the Faerûnian standard dollars is $3,100. And then if we look at our cash on hand for the Faerûnian gold pieces, let's go and look at that account and we'll see if there are any transactions. I forget whether I posted anything here. Yeah, so there are some transactions for the Faerûnian gold pieces. And that is 1,500, 1660. And I'm just doing this math because I want to, just like when we reconcile any of our bank accounts personally, what we're going to do is we need to know what the opening balance is and then also what the ending balance is for all the transactions. So now that we've noted that down, everything else, the line of credit and the payroll accounts are all blank in the system. So let's start with our operating account. And what we can do is we can do an account reconciliation. We can say that the date is going to be today. The bank statement is going to be 1, and the ending balance is going to be 0. So this is a simple account because we haven't got any transactions associated with it. So now what we can do is we can go into the transactions. And then this is going to allow us to see all of the accounts that have been posted. And we don't have anything to reconcile. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reconcile this because it's a blank account, and then save that and go back into the system. So now what we've got is we've got our first bank account reconciliation has been performed. And if I go back and if I go and look at all of our bank accounts, then our first bank account has got a beginning balance or an ending balance of 0. So that's good. Now let's go back and let's return back here to our Faerûnian gold pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's duplicate this tab. And then I'm going to go into here and I'm going to allow us to see all the transactions that are here because we're going to need these to work it out. So let's look at this and look at the transactions. So what we can do is we can reconcile July, and July is going to have 4 transactions in it that we're going to perform. Or maybe what we can do is we can miss out on this transaction here for the 30th in our reconciliation. So what we've got is we've got 3 payments of $1,000 and $150 and $100. And if we look at the dates on those, then those are 7/22, 7/24, and 7/29. So let's stick with this, and we're sort of working through this. So now I'm going to go to the account reconciliation, and I'm going to create a new bank statement. And this bank statement is going to be for the previous month, so the 31st. Bank statement is going to be bank statement number 1, and the ending balance is going to be 1250. And we can save this. So now what we've got is we're saying that our bank statement, just like we got the bank statement from the bank, we're going to say, what are our transactions? And I'm going to create a new transaction, and this is going to be a manual payment. And the first manual payment was cleared on the 22nd. And it's going to be for $100. I'm going to create another one, which is another payment for 7/24. It's going to be for $150. And then this is going to be another payment for 7/29. This is going to be for $1,000. Now, later on, we'll talk about the automatic importing of the bank statements. But what we've got here is we've now got all of our vouchers, and we've got our ending balance, our closed balance, our ending balance of 1,250, and then our unreconciled balance of 0. So what we can do is we can go out and mark these as cleared or not cleared within the system. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to reconcile this account. So if everything is equal, then what we should see is that there's a message here. So let's look at the voucher. So this is giving us a main account that we want to have here. So let's see. So the main account is going to be accounts payable. So let's see how we've got here. So that's the main account of accounts payable. Let's try reconciling this bank account now. So it's still giving us errors, and now it's saying that the main account is actually the business unit is blank. So that's, let's see. That I may need to go out and research and have a look, because it's actually saying that the validation is incorrect based off the balancing structure that we've got here within the view. So this, what we'll do is, again, this is a work in progress, and we're sort of working through here and then reconciling the bank accounts. But what we're starting to do is we're starting to see how the bank accounts get reconciled in the system. Let's try one other item here. And so this is going to be the Waterdeep Trading Company, and the cost center is going to be administration. Let's try once more and see if that gives us less details, and it may. So we'll try once more. We'll go over to here to the financial dimensions. We may need the department. So let's just add in the department, and it's going to be finance. Oops. And then we'll try once more. And if this fails, so we'll move on, and I'll debug this and work out what I'm doing wrong here within the system. So let's save this, reconcile. Oh, look at that, rock on. So what we've got is we've now gone out and we've reconciled this, and this has been reconciled. And what we're seeing is now our bank account has been completed, and we can see the transactions. We've gone out and we've recorded against those transactions that are in the system. So there's still, if we go back over here, there's still transactions that are waiting. So this one, this $400 is here, has been wasn't recorded in the month that we want to track. It's going to be then reconciled in the following month, and then the 10 gold pieces that we've got here is the same that was in the following year. So that's in August that we went out and transacted on those. So now if we return back, then and if we refresh these, then we'll see that the bank statement has been reconciled, and we can continue on. If I went out and if I created a new bank statement, which I won't complete, but I'll do it here. Right, go back. Trying to get into the right area. Let's go back. Then to here. Then our ending balance for this is now going to be 1660, because that's for the additional 110 gold pieces. And then we could go into the transactions, and we could repeat this process again. And we could say that this is a manual payment, and the date for this, if I remember right, was the 30th. And the amount of the transaction for this time was 100. And then there was another one, which is on the 5th, 5, and this was 730. Let's delete this. 85. So this was for $10. And then 05 for 730, which was for $100. So what we can do is we can start reconciling here, and then what we've got is in this case we have an opening balance which we're missing of because the opening balance is is 1250. We haven't, the ending balance is 660. I think my math is wrong here. So we're missing out on some transactions. So, and I think that is because I actually calculated the amounts wrong here within the bank statement. So if I go back here, the ending balance for this should actually be 1360. So that was my bad transaction on my reconciliation. And we can see that now we've got this reconciled. So we're sort of moving through this and working through blindly because we don't have the bank statements in front of us. But you can see that we can start tracking these transactions. Now, if these were automatically coming through into the system, then they're going to be a lot easier to manage. And also, if we go into the, I don't want to do that. If we wanted to automatically reconcile these, which is going to be the next session that we work on, then we're going to use these bank transaction accounts, and we're going to go out and we're going to match everything up within the system. So we can just save this here. So I'm going to leave this bank account. I'm going to leave it because I've got this far in it. I'm going to stop for now. Then I'm going to move back to the documentation. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at one last item, which I think I need to, which I can go out and I can look at. And what we can do is we can look at the statistics on the bank account. So if I return back here, and what I want to do is I want to go back to my bank account. And then what we can do is we can go and we can click on the transactions. And then that's going to show us the transactions. And also it's going to show us the transactions that have been reconciled in the system. So here's our 1250, and here's our unreconciled transactions that we can go out and look at. In hindsight, I should have just gone over to here instead of going over to the GL accounts, but it gives you an idea of how you can sort of move between the systems and access these. So thank goodness I managed to get through the bank reconciliation. I'm guessing that maybe some of my postings are a little bit squirrely, but we are here at the Waterdeep Trading Company, and we don't worry too much about exact accounts right now. So anyway, so this ends our session, and it took us around about 30 minutes to work through this and to create these additional accounts, and then to go back and start reconciling our deficit that we've got in the system, because up until now we've just been spending money in our petty cash account. We actually don't have any money in the petty cash account, so we're already overdrawn, but it's just gold pieces. And what we have seen are some other features around the bank statements that would be interesting to find out where the signature functionality has gone in our bank statements, because we can go out and we can assign signatures to the check printing automatically. Maybe that's been removed in favor of check printing software. And I think I'm pretty happy that I managed to get through this part and managed to reconcile some bank accounts in a semi workable fashion. So this ends the session. If anyone's interested in going out and doing this yourself, then just contact us. We've actually got lab environments that you can use in conjunction with the guides that you're seeing me work through in the system. I'm going through and I'm testing this just like you would. So I'm working through the guides step by step so that we can get to the end of the process. If you are interested in working on that, then just contact us. If you want to support this project, this 30 minutes a day that I spend going through and creating the Waterdeep Trading Company, then you can go to the Patreon site, there's a link up there for the AD&D 365 site. I think it's patreon.com/AD&D 365. And watch out for the posts that I'm making on LinkedIn on all of the gamification sort of features that we're setting up here within the system. So with that said, what we're going to do is we're going to close off and finish the day, finish our half hour that we're working through this. And everybody have a great end of the day, and see you on the next live stream, which will be episode 21.